Welcome to the Art of Badassery, where I explore what it takes to live life on your own terms, break free from the status quo, and unleash your inner badass. Whether you're a rebel at heart or simply seeking inspiration to step outside your comfort zone, this podcast is for you. I'm your host, Mahara Wayman, and each week I dive into the stories, insights, and strategies of those who have mastered the art of badassery and are living life to the fullest. They smile when no one is looking. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Art of Badassery. A little bit different this week because guess what? I'm interviewing myself. I know, stop laughing. But all joking aside, I've had a lot of people reach out with questions about my new program and even about me. So I thought, what the hell? Why not do an episode where I answer those questions and I tell you a bit about myself? So here we go. Thank you for joining me. My name is Mahara Wayman, and I've had an amazing life. I've done lots of different things here and there. When I was very young, I wanted to be a marine biologist, but too much work. Then I wanted to be an actress and a dancer, which I actually did do. But when I couldn't make ends meet doing that, my mother said, "Could you get a real job?" And I went, I don't even know what that is. But I did. I became a bartender on a cruise boat. Then I worked as a caterer. And it was then that I really started to understand that I wanted more out of life. Fast forward a few years, I was the catering sales manager for one of the top catering companies in Vancouver, BC. Made tons of friends and had lots of fun. At that time, I got married and had kids, and I discovered the challenge of losing weight with my children. I joined Weight Watchers and fell in love with what I saw there, which was a dogged determination to help people feel better about themselves. I became a leader with Weight Watchers, and shortly thereafter, I joined the company in a management position. I spent over 10 years working for the company. And when I left due to COVID, I actually did a happy dance, not because I was so excited to leave the company, because truthfully, I actually loved what I did. I loved meeting people, making a difference. I loved facilitating workshops and discussions. I loved the creativity that went behind some of the marketing campaigns that I did in my territory. When I left, I was the lead territory manager for half of the country and really had so much experience. I was quite excited to go out on my own. What I decided to do was to build an online business. 2 days after leaving the company, I came up with my business name. 4 days after leaving the company, I had started my own website where I was blogging because I'd always loved to write. I took some courses on how to build an online business. I took lots of courses on how to develop a coaching business. In particular, I wrote a book. I have now started a podcast. And in this journey, I have, with a big smile on my face, I feel become quite badass. And the reason I say that is that today at 58, almost 58, I am feeling more myself than ever before. And I know many of you listening will appreciate what I mean by that. I was, very privileged growing up. I had a wonderful life. I'm Jamaican, moved to Canada when I was almost 10, always had friends, did well in school, loved my family, my friends. But I also felt that I needed to be a certain way. I needed to dress a certain way, look a certain way, be slim, be quiet, unless I knew for sure what I was going to say was important or wasn't going to offend. So in these last 2 years, I have done a lot of growing in. I've been growing into myself, and I really like who I see there. And that's what I help women in particular do. That's why I started this podcast, The Art of Badassery, because I honestly believe that we are all badass, and you don't have to make $1 million or live in a certain town, dress a certain way to be a badass. Really, all you need to be badass is this deep understanding that you matter. And I often say to my clients, just put your hand on your heart and repeat after me, I matter. There, you're badass. So fast forward to today. I have a podcast. I'm a group coach, I'm a one-on-one coach. And what I've discovered is the program that I wished I had taken 2.5 years ago. And it's one that I've written, and I'm really proud of it. So I have had a group program a few times now. The last incarnation, it was called Build Your Best Badass Life. And it was based on my book, Essential Insights to Living Your Best Life. Really, it was all of the inner work that I had gone through and that I recognized was needed for me to feel comfortable in my skin and do the work that I want to do. A few months ago, I was having a bit of a downtime, down as in attitude, not in quiet time. And I was feeling a little bit antsy that I wasn't creating something, I wasn't creating enough impact with my clients. And I asked myself, well, actually, I asked my future self, future CEO, what would I do in this instant? And what I came up with was instant. Instantly, I heard myself saying to myself, oh, for God's sakes, Mahara, create something that is a no-brainer, is needed, and that you can do very easily. And what I decided to do was to come up with a branding course for fellow coaches just like me that were struggling with their story, with their message, with the look. Now, I have an artistic background, and I have spent literally 7 days a week, every week in Canva since I left the corporate world. So I have become very proficient in the graphics behind social media. So I created something that I called a brand intensive, and it was designed 4 hours or 8 hours of one-on-one time with me, where with my help, we would uncover your story, the true story, and we would use that in your marketing to help you connect with your soul clients. So just as I had launched that, my original group program was coming to an end because it's a 6-month program. And one of my clients in the program was actually job hunting. And I realized she could actually benefit from a brand intensive with me. So I gifted her 2 hours where we just worked on her story. I asked the questions, I typed, and we ended up with this beautiful story that she is using for her elevator pitch and her unique selling point, and even her full story when she is in the interview process, and she's having great success with it. And what happened was I had this ding, ding, ding moment. And I thought, boy, what would happen if I blended the two together? So my 8-hour intensive branding content with my 6-month life content, build your best life content. And what I've come up with is my new group program. And that's what I want to answer questions for you today. Okay, take a breath. Whew, it's weird when you're doing it all by yourself. I have these questions that were sent to me, and I'm going to ask them of myself. And hopefully by the end of this podcast, you'll know all you need to know. If you're interested, of course, I want you to DM me, and we'll see if this program is a fit. But let's get at it. So the first question is, what inspired you to create the Build Your Best Badass Business program? And what does being a badass mean in this context? Well, I think I've explained what inspired me. I already had one that was good, really good. Then I had something new, and I realized, wow, putting it together would be magical. But it comes from a true belief that I have that if you want your business to be crazy successful and to be thought of as a badass business, then it begins with you embracing your own badassery, right? It's hard to have a badass business if you don't feel badass yourself. And really, in this context, being a badass means tapping into your authenticity, your resilience, and your unique strengths to create a business that aligns with your deepest values and the aspirations that you have, not only for yourself as the CEO of your business, but for your business itself. I took my first group program, as I mentioned, Build Your Best Badass Life. I added my Brand Like a Badass Intensive. And honestly, this is the program that I wished I'd taken 2.5 years ago when I first began my entrepreneurial journey, because with this program, we go deep with a lot of the inner work that's required to navigate the outside stuff that comes up. Okay, next question. Could you share some key elements of the program that make it unique and impactful for participants. Okay, so what sets my program apart really is its holistic approach, blending personal growth with business development. I emphasize authenticity, resilience, and mindset shifts as crucial foundations for building a standout brand and achieving lasting success. So, as I mentioned earlier, it's this cool combination, right, of addressing the inner things, the inner work that needs to happen for every entrepreneur, because I'm telling you, no matter how great you are and excited and aligned and just ready for this journey, being an entrepreneur will trigger things that you may have thought you dealt with years ago. And I'm just this is my story. So I love that the program includes work for the inside and also work for the outside. How does the program help participants connect with their authentic selves and align their business with their values? That is a really good question. Connecting with authenticity. My program guides participants through reflective exercises and discussions, because we meet once a week, to help them uncover their core values, their passions, and their strengths. So this self-discovery process forms the basis for aligning their business with their true selves. I don't know about you, but I fell into the trap of I designed a business that I thought people wanted. And it wasn't necessarily connected to me. There was a lot of pretense because I was feeling, I guess, a little bit unworthy. So I didn't want to show the real me. I wanted to show, the better version of me. But there was a bit of a disconnect there. So to me, it's very important that we connect with our authenticity when we are building our brand. Number 4, can you describe the role of mindset and personal growth in the program and how they contribute to a successful business? Okay, people, mindset is the core of success. I am sorry. It doesn't, in my opinion, you can have the best product, you can have the sexiest website, you can have the best social media manager, you can have everything, quote, perfect. But if your mindset is one of lack, resistance, fear, then all of those beautiful things aren't going to make much difference, because really the mindset is the start. It's so important. And I provide my participants with lots of tools and strategies to develop a growth-oriented mindset, because not all of us have it, right? But you can develop it. This helps them to face the challenges with confidence and resilience, because as I've mentioned before, they are going to crop up. If you are brand spanking new, reality check, it is not as easy as you may think. If you've been in this for a while, like I have, then I suspect you're nodding right now, because you're like, oh my God, she's right. We see these things on social media, 10K months. Oh, I take my 2-week course and you'll, become a 6-figure coach. I didn't actually fall for all of those, but I did. It's easy to get sucked into that belief. But really, personal growth is integral to building a thriving business. And as you grow, so can your business. I'm going to repeat that because I think it's really powerful. As you grow, so can your business, especially if you have aligned with it. All right, number 5, what strategies or tools does the program offer to help participants create a standout brand identity in their respective industries? Okay, creating a standout brand, that's what it's all about. So I show participants how to infuse their unique qualities into their branding, like their sense of humor, or their softness, or their brashness, or their badassery, whatever it is. But this means that I help my clients to go beyond visuals. It's not just about your favorite color, but it's about incorporating your personality and your values and your story into their brand identity, making it more memorable and authentic. It's about being authentic and standing out in the crowd, because you know what? There's lots of us doing this work, or whatever work that you're in. My superpower, truthfully, and I know a lot of people will agree with me, is asking great questions that often uncover ideas or traits or values that my clients either don't recognize in themselves, or never saw the importance of highlighting them. And that's the magic of having a great coach. Because when we ask great questions, we hear what's not being said. And we are curious enough without any judgment to say, I'm sorry, what does that mean? Can you tell me more about that? Or did you realize that you've said this so many times today? Yeah, so it's all part of recognizing how unique you are and giving ourselves permission to use that uniqueness in our storytelling. Next question. Could you explain the importance of forging authentic connections with clients and how the program supports participants in achieving this? Wow. I know from experience the excitement that comes with doing, being a solopreneur. We love what we do. We love our product and we want everyone to buy it. And I've made the mistake of assuming that just because somebody likes me that they should be my client. And then I felt so disappointed when they haven't, gone ahead and booked with me, or I realized that they're actually not my ideal client. And what I'm learning and what this program really talks about in detail is when you are authentic, your ideal client hears that. Because really, while it may feel, wow, there's not enough clients to go around, believe me when I tell you this, there are enough clients for all of us. And you want to focus on the clients that recognize you and go, oh my God, I have to work with that person. Whether, regardless of what it is that they connect with you about, that's who you want to connect with, right? So building authentic client relationships is about understanding your audience on a deeper level. And you need to understand yourself first. Otherwise, you're not going to understand them. So my program offers techniques for empathizing with clients, creating value-driven content, and fostering connections beyond just a transaction. It is about the connections that you make. It is not about the dollars that they spend. That was a tough one for me to wrap my head around, but it's very, very powerful. So again, the more that you understand yourself on a deeper level, the easier it will be for you to understand your client. And this is not, when I say that, I don't mean just the nice things. I also mean the things that can be a little bit uncomfortable. So when you find yourself being very judgmental about yourself or your business, chances are you will see yourself doing that in others. When you have learned to recognize and forgive behavior in yourself that doesn't feel so good, it's way easier to do that with your clients. So trust me, the more you know yourself, the more you'll know your clients, and the more you'll be able to speak to them in a way that grabs their attention to the point where they're like, I absolutely have to work with you. I absolutely have to be around you. And that's what I want from my clients. Okay, next question. In what ways does the program address challenges and setbacks that entrepreneurs commonly face, and how does it build resilience and confidence? Oh my God, this was a big one. Okay, full disclosure. When I started on this journey, I was so naive and so optimistic. I literally said to a friend of mine, oh no, I'm not concerned. If I build a program, if I tell people I'm a coach, then I am going to earn six figures before you know it. Wow, what a wake-up call. So there were many and continue to be challenges for me on my entrepreneurial journey. I'm not even going to list them, but I'm sure you can imagine. Disappointment is big. Disappointment, misunderstanding, confusion. I'm a very creative person, so I struggle with over creation. Like I'll just get lost in Canva by being so creative, and then I realize the whole week's gone by, I've got nothing actually accomplished. So challenges are a part of the entrepreneurial journey, and do not let anyone tell you otherwise, because they'll be lying. Okay. I do address these in the program by helping participants to develop resilience through mindset shift, problem solving skills, and really a strong network, a strong support network within the program. I also teach participants to set very strong and solid and clear boundaries, which alone will help to build confidence and resilience. When we're clear on who we are and what we're willing to do, then it's that much easier to stick with the boundary. And believe me, when you're honoring your boundaries, people see it and they respond to that. So while I often gave into the inclination, so for example, if I said that my price was X, someone said they couldn't afford it, at the beginning, I would immediately chop that price in half just to get their business. But can you imagine the message I was sending? It wasn't the message that I want my clients to know. So I don't do that anymore. But I had to learn how to not do that. And I had to learn to sit with the fear and the stories I was telling myself around that. And so I teach that in my program. Can you share some success stories or testimonials from participants who have gone through the program and achieved remarkable results? You bet I can. Okay, this is from my client Rosita, who took the Badass Branding Intensive course with me. Working with you has been an absolute game changer for my branding. Your knowledge, passion, and support have empowered me to stand comfortably and confidently with who I am in the market, attract meaningful opportunities, and serve my purpose. Linda, who also took my brand intensive, said this: Mahara has given me language for what I want to express to the world. She mirrors my brilliance back to me so I can own it. Her belief in me is contagious. She helped me settle on a title for my online course that has been so powerful and absolutely perfect for my business. Now, Ro took my 6-month group program, and this is what she had to say about the experience. What sets Mahara apart is her unparalleled dedication to her clients' growth. She didn't just give me advice and send me on my way. She provided me with a tailored roadmap for personal development. With her unwavering support and guidance, I started setting meaningful goals and taking consistent action towards achieving them. It was like she'd handed me the keys to unlock my potential, and I began to witness tangible changes in every aspect of my life. Now, I was with Ro for 6 months because, as I mentioned, she was in my group program. And one of the most beautiful things that I witnessed was within only a couple of weeks of being in the program, she began to notice things about herself, really beautiful things that she just hadn't noticed, in some of them ever, and some in a long, long time, because she was so caught up in stress and angst. And then by the end, she was really a different woman, lighter in spirit, this was another big thing. She was able to articulate how she was feeling, because at the beginning of the program, a lot of times she would just say, "Oh, I'm just feeling stressed." Yeah, no, I don't know what I'm feeling. But by the end of the program, she had her language down. And understanding your story is a part of the program. And we spent a lot of time working on that. And she's just so comfortable in telling her story with words that, like, the right words, the right language. So to me, it was and continues to be one of the reasons why I love what I do, why I love what I do so much. It's seeing the growth of these women really be the badass women that they are, right? They recognize it in themselves. So there's some testimonials from very recent clients on both the branding side and the life side. Of course, I haven't started the new program yet, so I don't have anyone yet that's done the combination, but I'm excited for it. Next question: how does the program strike a balance between business development and personal growth? And why is this balance essential for entrepreneurial success? Okay, this is an important one. Balancing business with personal growth is essential for long-term success, I think. When entrepreneurs prioritize their personal development, it positively impacts their business, the business growth, and the fulfillment that you feel with that business. So when you're badass, in other words, aligned, authentic, and confident, your business is too. So I like that. I'm going to repeat it. When you're badass, which means aligned, authentic, and confident, so is your business. And who doesn't want that? Next question, and this actually is our last question for this installment. What advice would you give to someone considering joining the Build Your Best Badass Business program? And what can they expect to gain from the experience? So, all of you listening, if this is piquing your interest in any way, if you think you'd like to join the program, my advice is to come with an open mind and commit to your personal and your business growth. Now, expect to gain some practical strategies, a supportive community, and the confidence to take your entrepreneurial journey to new heights. This program is a holistic approach to creating a fulfilling and thriving business, because when you feel confident, aligned with your purpose, and empowered to be your best, man, your business reflects that. And you end up smiling when no one is looking. The other thing is just reach out to me and we'll meet and we'll see if we're a fit. Ask me lots of questions. Yeah, that's my advice for anybody thinking of joining the program, or anyone that would like to work with me in any manner. Just reach out. Let's connect. My name is Mahara Wayman. This has been an interview with myself, tell you a bit more about me, and really to highlight my new group program that I'm just so excited to share with the world. Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of The Art of Badassery. Next week, we'll be back to our regular format where I will be interviewing someone who can share their story of being a badass. And I hope you enjoyed it. And please share this episode with your friends. Thank you for tuning in to The Art of Badassery. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights to help unleash your inner badass. If you found this podcast helpful, please leave a rating or review on your favorite platform. Your feedback not only helps me improve the show, but it also helps others like yourself discover the podcast. Until next time, keep embracing your authenticity and living life on your terms. Here's to you.